Welcome back to the Manor, Entropians. Julian McBain here. And tonight we are going to be doing Halloween Mayhem. So, we are doing Annihilation 3, because I am no longer qualified for 2. I don't think anyone's scored yet. No, I didn't think so. Let's see how we do. And honestly, I'm actually... While I am not overly optimistic about placing, it is a goal of mine to try and place. We'll see how that goes. And it begins. 15 hours, folks. Oh, I forgot my pill. Damn it. Not a big deal. So I did do quite a bit of practice. Probably spent 4 or 5 hours practicing, which really kind of gave me a good read on what this particular one was going to be like. And the loot has been pretty good, actually. Come on. Don't glitch out on me now. 1 point. Ugh. I think with these guys, though, I don't think that these guys have a 0-pointer. I hope they don't. And basically my plan is to fight to the first boss. So this isn't going to be like my normal, one of my normal videos. And throughout Mayhem, I think that my plan is to focus on the Mayhem. So there's going to be less of the commentary. I'm going to continue commenting, but if there are periods of silence because these are longer videos, don't be surprised. As you can see, I've already made rank 9 on the challenge. I'm almost done rank 9, actually. Oh, that was a level up of some sort. Oh, we got a society application I wasn't expecting. And another one. Surly Auric. Okay. Level 17 Grenadier. Okay. Come on. There we go. Oh, we do have 0-pointers. Damn it. I wonder if you can get 0-pointers on any level of Annihilation. Rules. Participants. We already know the prizes. I know it's listed on the Planet Calypso website. I'm not going to bother looking it up at the moment. I need to, but I'm not going to right this second. Okay, next. I'm hoping to get through the whole challenge this time. Like on the old one, I don't think there was an end to it. I think it just kept cycling and then you got the M tokens every time. But with this one, you actually can see what your destination is. Oh, that wasn't bad. 26 points. Or it was like 25 points. Come on. And down you go. Loot's doing pretty good. 261. Where I've already got 15 ped worth of shrap. I think I had just under 6 mil, so we're doing okay. Keeping in mind that, you know, there's no loot to sell for markup really off these guys. You had some aggro range. 590. Not bad. Why for you have that much aggro range? That's not cool. One of the other things I'm really happy about is this is going to help me with my Scourging, which is your mutant looter. Which will help me get better loot off these guys. More globals. Actually, I don't know if that actually affects the global rate. So, something interesting I figured out. So we're in an unknown zone. But if you'll get... Oh no, it doesn't bring you to the corner like it did. In practice, it brings you to the corner, and this looks like the mouth of a singularity, doesn't it? So I have to wonder if we're in some sort of quantum singularity. Embubbled in something. Right? Yeah, we're like unknown. There's nothing here. It's a black hole. We can see space. The whole cemetery looks really cool. This is something I really haven't given MindArc enough credit on. The design of the arena, the cemetery, is really well done. Like, I want to explore the house up here. Or better yet, buy one. Of course, you can't buy that house, and there's the church over here. I once tried to run to one of them, and I ended up not making it. Actually, the alarm went off when I came back, but... it would be cool to be able to go up there and, like, go in there, or even have player housing that's an old Victorian home like that. And the best part is, I actually live in... So I live in Vermont. We have houses similar to this. We have old Victorian homes. Okay? Most of our towns were founded before 1800. We have old houses. Like, when you're looking at houses, a good chunk of the houses were built in the 1800s. And so, it's... I guess it's because I'm just used to that type of aesthetic. It doesn't help that when I was playing WoW, a lot of my time until I had access to goblins, I pretty much exclusively played Forsaken, and they have that old gothic feel because they're all undead. And then of course when I became a goblin, I played a Death Knight, so I was still undead, just a different type of undead. I was an undead that was greedy. So I'm playing this on Halloween. I'm going to release this particular video in lieu of my Saturday vlog. And so I'm going to suspend the vlog through the Mayhem. So I can put out more Mayhem videos. At least that's the plan at the moment. I might switch it around, put this out on Sunday and have a Mayhem vlog. But... so it's Halloween, and unfortunately I didn't get to go out with my son trick-or-treating. His grandmother brought him because I didn't get out of work in time, and I expected them back before like 7 o'clock, and they got back around 8, soaking wet because it is pouring out. But they had traveled over to the Capitol, and they had walked the entirety of State Street, which, if I remember correctly, it's like 1.5 miles long. No, it can't be that long. It's like 1 mile, I do believe. And so that's not a short distance, especially for an 11-year-old, and he apparently did it like a champ. and he gorged on some sugar when he got home and promptly crashed. But earlier today, I caught Lorespade's stream, and he's also in Cat 3, and he's hard mode, or not hard mode, he's hardcore going for placement. Like, for me, if I place, that would be awesome, but I'm not going to stress if I don't. He's going for it, so I would really encourage you to, if you can catch his live streams, do it. Which, hopefully they're not all done by the time this comes out. You know, that's always a thing that could happen. Well, no, probably not the whole thing, but he'll have a good chunk taken care of. Come on. Halloween challenge has increased, so as soon as we're engaged with this guy, what do we have for rewards? Clubs, courage, diagnosis, electrokinesis, inflict melee damage, perception. Courage really affects your hit points, I do believe. We're gonna go courage. We must be courageous. Actually, where are my hit points? 138, and I'm actually almost halfway to 139. Holy crap. When I was doing the practice, I actually got to 138, and because of the ring it said 150, of course. So I've got the, is it the Agilic ring? Yeah, the Agilic ring, so it's an Aegis. Which, you wouldn't think it makes a difference. It does. It's not a huge difference, but it's enough of a difference. It's that increased regeneration that really makes the difference. And I would love to get, like, the top tier version of it, and then add to that the Vampire Cloak, and I'd be fucking unstoppable. I can't afford that, though. I would have to be lucky to get it as a drop, and I think you got to get the cloak from Entropia. If anyone knows where the hell the Vampire Cloak comes from, would you please drop a comment down below and let me know? I have a powerful need. $110. Already up to 52 ped. Already down to 524. Oh, and so in addition to using the LB30, we're also using the melee Trauma Amplifier 4, which has the increased damage. Whoops. Where's the... Oh, yeah, it does 20 extra damage per shot. It's also significantly beefier in condition and value. Why did I do that? And I've got the the Mayhem M Matrix Alpha, which gives us the, is it 5% lifesteal and 10% evade, dodge, and critical damage, decreased critical damage. I wish I had had another Delta like I had during migration. I'm hoping, so I've already got a number of boxes that I think I'm just gonna like buy keys and open them for the ammo instead of buying universal ammo for this. And I got a number of amps out of the last one. So I'm thinking, my hope is that I'll get another one. You know me, I sell the gun amps, I keep the melee amps. Come on. There we go. the big thing about Mayhems, and I've said this before, Mayhems are all about skill building. You choose whatever, you know, if you're going for like top tier, you choose your top, and this is how you grind out your top tier combat skill. Like for me, it's melee all the way. I do use the rifle to draw them in. Last Halloween Mayhem, I tried using Mind Force. It didn't work out so well because the Mind Force is shorter ranged. I do want to work on Mind Force, and I think that needs to be a goal for me for the next year. But, oh, 7, 8, 9, not bad. Almost 10 ped there. But really, I'm a melee player. You all know it. Everyone knows I'm a melee player. I'm a melee player because that's what I do in real life. You know, can I shoot a rifle? Absolutely. And I'm not bad if I do say so myself. I'm not terrific, but I'm not bad. You know, I can't qualify sharpshooter anymore, but there was a time. But I'm a fencer. I'm all about the swords. And so that's the skill I'm going to grind. I'm going to, for my avatar, my avatar is me as I can express myself in EU. The only real exception to that is the name, because when I named my avatar, not realizing, you know, honestly, I wasn't sure how much I would be in this game. I did not expect to absolutely fall in love with it. Ooh, we got a strong box. First one of the night. So I named the avatar after a character in the book that I wrote. I've already been through that. It's currently undergoing a final reread before I release it again. And actually, he does. You don't meet Kenichi Kamadake or Kamadake Kenichi because he's Japanese until book 2, but that's fine. But I mean, even my characters are an expression of myself, right? So I am forming this character to be as close to who I am as I possibly can. You know, I have to wonder if this location actually exists somewhere on Calypso. Like, I know there are places on Calypso I have yet to explore. And now that I'm back on Calypso, it might behoove me to take an opportunity to explore some of them. Like, up in here. I know, I'm almost positive Camp Amundsen is somewhere up in here. And that's the starter zone for Calypso, right? But I've never been there outside of when I first started, and I would love to find it. Assuming that it's not in its own instanced area that you can't ever penetrate in any way. You know, there isn't like a common ground version. I also want to know what's up here. There are things I have yet to, like, I know PvP 4 is down here, and that's a lootable PvP. Kind of like here. But unlike up there, I don't think this is biohazardous. But like, there's like a bunch of cool little islands down here that would be cool to check out. I'm technically on Calypso. I can deploy my Leprechaun. Level him a little bit. He's more Halloween appropriate because he comes from Monria, technically. And for whatever reason, the Calypso and Monria are considered quote-unquote the same planet for purposes of deployment of pets. Probably because Monria is under a different contract than the other Planet partners. As I'm doing this, I've got my Chromebook open with Facebook to make sure that if someone needs me, they can contact me, because adulting never actually ends, right? And with the number of things that irons I keep in the fire, there's always something going on. And of course, a notice pops up because an Entropia Twitch streamer just popped in. Checking out the spooky goings-on in Entropia. Shout out to Bonnie Knight. I'm not a Twitch person. Well, I am a Twitch person. I like watching Twitch, but I'm not on Twitch. And it's been suggested that I live stream to YouTube. Unfortunately, it's not... It's tough. It's tough for me to be able to schedule out the time to do so, because once you start going live, people are going to expect you to keep going live, right? So like, I can do this video, I'm recording the video, I have an Entropia schedule, I operate within that schedule, right? But this is not, it's not like I have to be doing this at the moment that it's scheduled to happen. I can do it ahead of time. Like, this is Thursday night. This will release on either Saturday or Sunday. Not a huge deal. When you're live streaming on the regular, I have to be in my studio. I call it my studio. It's my desk in my room. I have to be at the computer at that time. And there's a lot of wisdom, and I mean, there's a lot of good that can come from that. Assuming that, you don't have other obligations. Like, I would love to be able to be a live streamer. I can't. Not yet, not at this point. That day may eventually come. If the channel explodes and I become a success at being a YouTuber, and I'm able to reduce my outside obligations, i.e. normal workspace obligations, I can schedule my time more the way I would want to schedule it to do that type of living. But I don't foresee that happening in the near future. The wisdom is, in order to... When deciding to quit your job to have your side hustle replace your job, right? And this is essentially a side hustle that doesn't pay me anything. And no, that's not a complaint, it's just a statement of fact. The side hustle should pay you twice what your regular 9-to-5 pays you. So, like, if you make, and I'm going to use round numbers because they're easy to come up with. If you make $10,000 a year, which no one can ever live on, but just work with me here for a second. Or better yet, let's use a realistic number. If you make $50,000 a year, and yes, that is fairly realistic, especially for urban areas. If you're out in the countryside, and I'm using American numbers because I'm from America, if you make $50,000 a year, you need to be making $100,000 before you quit your main job from your side hustle. Because a side hustle won't always be consistent. You've got these streamers, they make a lot of money off their jobs, they do really good work. They put out high quality content. But the market isn't always super stable. You know, when things started out, all you had was YouTube, and then monetization came, and then Twitch popped up, and people moved to Twitch. And you have to be able to move into the new zone, and some people are slow at it, and so you're going to have those up years and those down years. So, you know, being intelligent about how you use the money you receive from a side hustle, and then even more intelligent about when you quit a stable 9-to-5, because once you quit that stable 9-to-5, it's going to be harder getting another one, because they're going to know that, you know, you're an entrepreneur. Even if you're a solopreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, they're going to know that, you know, you're in it to win it, and your priority is going to be on your own business interests, not on what the company you're applying to is interested in doing. And so that is something that can really affect how those outside interests look at you when you're looking at a job. And that's not bad. And on the other hand, it could really help you if they're hoping to pull you away from what you're doing and become one of their, you know, maybe an intrapreneur, someone who develops businesses from within a larger corporation. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you could go through the process of being, let's say that your goal is to become a YouTuber that doesn't need to rely on outside income, right? You can focus on the channel, and that's what generates your income. You're an influencer. You know, you do all of the things. You have the clout. And you build that audience. And it's not easy building an audience, trust me. You know, I've got, as of this morning, I had 200, no, not as of this morning, as of this moment. Let's find out. Okay, as of right now, which is 21:55 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Ooh, 36:44. That's what I'm talking about. 21:55 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. My channel has 205 subscribers. On October 31st. I started this channel, I started regular videos on June 28th of 2018. Had to think there for a second. So it's been a year and 3 months. Now let's talk about the good and the bad of this. Here's the bad. You need 1,000 subscribers just to be a YouTube partner. And no, I'm not. None of this is me bitching. This is me kind of educating anyone who's thinking about starting a channel. And I would encourage anyone who wants to start a channel to do so. Because if nothing else, the experience is extremely useful. You learn a lot just by doing it. And, you know, keeping the regular schedule, keeping the content coming. It doesn't matter if it succeeds or not from that. You will find that there's a lot of transferable skills you will gain by making the attempt. 12:26. There we go. So you've got your channel and you have your schedule. Even if it's once a week or once a month, if you're consistent, that's going to help. The YouTube algorithm is... I'm not even done my first glass of scotch. Oh my god. The YouTube algorithm is going to like you better if you do things on a regular basis. And of course, the more content you pump out, the more the algorithm, to a certain extent, is going to favor you, especially if it's content on a similar vein. Like, I think that my channel suffers just a little bit because I do both the Entropia universe stuff and I do all the Let's Play videos and I have the McBain moments. And honestly, out of all of them, the deal breaker is probably the McBain moments. But I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about the McBain moments, so I'm not freaking gonna stop doing those. As you build an audience, the audience starts to build faster. So like, it took me almost as much time to go from my first 50 subscribers took less time than my second 50. So I think I made 50 subscribers. I'm trying to think because my goal was to make 50, but okay, so it was just after January of this year. I hit 50 subscribers. And my goal, and when I crossed that line, I'm like, okay, my goal for 2019 is to make 150. I hit 150, I think, in July. And now I'm at 205. And I've got 2 months left. It's October 31st. I've got 2 whole months left. If I continue to produce quality content, I should be at 250 by the end of the year. That's not guaranteed, of course. But I should at least be approaching it, if nothing else. If I continue to produce quality content, I could be a partner by the end of next year. That is a worthy goal to have. My hope is that I can qualify for partner, YouTube partner, by the end of next year. That's 2.5 years of work. 2.5 years of work to make it that far, just to monetize. And that's the way the game is played. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to have the patience to get it done. And it's not always easy. I mean, hell, I work a standard 9 to 5, like literally 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. job. I have to have my son on his school bus at 7. So that means I'm up at 6. And it's 10 p.m., 2200 on a Thursday. And I am recording an extended video. Because that's what Mayhem calls for. And that's what it takes. You have to have that drive. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not even pretty. But you can do it. You just have to embrace the challenge. You know, it's just like the watchword of Entropia universe. You know, you embrace the grind. This big industry's big catchphrase is embrace the grind. Speaking of catchphrases, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, 1 subscription at a time. So make sure you subscribe. We've crossed the half-hour mark. How's my sword doing? Oh, we're still fine. 1,500 shots. I'm telling you, man, getting old sucks. I'm only 35, but getting old sucks. My arm and shoulder have been bothering me like mad for months, and Icy Hot has pretty much become my best friend. And I know it's probably something that's fixable. I don't know if it's... I'm not entirely sure if it's my rotator cuff or what it could be. I always attribute it to the injury I sustained when fighting a plane to the ground. So I went to Daniel Webster College, which in hindsight was a mistake, but it was the right idea. I was pursuing my dream. I just didn't realize that 2008 was going to happen. So I have a private pilot's license. I haven't used it in over a decade. The initial damage came from when I was fighting a plane onto the ground. We had hit some really heavy winds, and it was pushing the plane around. It took both myself and the instructor to put the plane down. Like, we were wrestling the plane down. Because Cessnas love to fly. They take, like, no skill to fly. And I hate to say it that way, because it does take some skill to fly. But, I mean, it's a plane that just wants to fly. And when the plane itself is designed in such a way that it doesn't stop flying properly willingly. Like, I have deliberately put these planes into situations where they should not be flying, and it's like, nah, screw you, I'm going to keep flying. Because that's part of flight training, right? You put yourself into a situation you got to get yourself out of in order to survive. Because if you don't, and you're in a bigger bird, well, you're screwed. And that's why Cessnas are used for flight training, because they're so damned forgiving. Almost to the point where they hate to not be flying. Well, the wind was high enough to where you could practically hover an airplane, which means the airspeed matched the minimum speed to keep the plane aloft. And I'm trying to not get overly technical, but the term in question is power off stall, or the power on stall speed. So even though my ground speed is only like a couple miles per hour, my airspeed is in the 70s. And that's something a lot of people, because everyone thinks of planes, they think of the big jets. These jets can go 500 miles per hour. Ground speed. A Cessna doesn't do that. But it can get high enough to where the wind velocity is in the 70, 80 miles per hour. Or nautical miles per hour. You put it, and you have a plane moving forward at 70 nautical miles and the wind coming at it at 70 nautical miles. Your total ground speed is, survey says, crap, 0. So I have hovered a Cessna. We were at about 10,000 feet. My ground speed hit 0. It was kind of a cool experience. And then I took up choppers and realized that it's so much better doing it there. Takes much less effort doing it that way. But anyway, there was a point to all this. Lost my train of thought. Completely lost my train of thought. That's how you can tell I'm tired. Come on. Thank you. 229. How are we doing? 368 versus 207. Not bad. My big hope is that I can recover all my ammo and I can do repairs. Because it's always the big question mark. I'm kind of surprised I haven't globaled yet. I did global once each night during practice. Just once. But it happened. Come on, there we go. Now the real question is, do I continue after doing this video or not? Still have about 20 minutes left. Because I know I'm not going to be able to play tomorrow, and I know I'm not going to be able to play well, I'll play Saturday morning probably. These zombies are just grouchy. Can't imagine why. You know, I have to admit, I kind of got over the whole zombie apocalypse thing back in the early 2000s because it was, I mean, everything was zombies. Oh, that was 10 ped plus. Nice. You know, for those of you who remember the early 2000s, you had Resident Evil, you had Left 4 Dead, not Left 4 Dead, that was a video game. Well, you had Left 4 Dead, that was a video game, but Shaun of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and yes, I put the parody before the actual movie. You just zombie movies everywhere, because at the time they were the only politically acceptable enemy for us to fight. And I loved zombie movies for a while, and then I just started to hate them. And so, like, I never watched The Walking Dead. Never got into it. Because by the time The Walking Dead came out, I was done. I was like, you know what? I kind of had it with zombies. And there was a British version of it that I had seen. Not The Walking Dead, but like, I don't know the name of it, but it was British, and just you had a person who got bitten by a zombie, but they hadn't changed yet, and another person that they ran into just brutally murdered them because they were bitten, and it's just like, wow. I mean, I understand this is kind of something that going through something as traumatic as a zombie apocalypse, yes, that's something that could possibly happen, but it doesn't mean that... It's kind of awful to think about, you know what I mean? You know, what would we be willing to do in that situation? Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9... 9.5. My Scotch glass is empty. I got 15 minutes before I can go get more rocks. So, water it is. The boss can spawn anytime, and I know we've got like 15 minutes before the hour is up. And I know it's... So, I had posted a question in one of the practices, for those of you who didn't see it, in my practice episode, asking if it's the number of mobs or if it's the timer. And they said it was the number of mobs. And so my hope is that the number of mobs that I can get there with is not too far over the hour mark. There's like a huge number of them over there. And I know they all respawn accordingly. I just didn't exactly expect them to congregate. It does make me wonder though, like, the, what was it, Easter Mayhem was all robots, and so they had the big robot, and these guys, they have a more powerful zombie, which makes perfect sense. Last I checked, Halloween Mayhem was Daikaba. What the hell does a boss Daikaba look like? Or Merry Mayhem. Merry Mayhem was Daikaba. What the hell does a boss Daikaba look like? I want to know. I do. We're down to 1,000 shots. Which, all things considered, isn't bad. 325, we've got 249, 375, 575, and I think we started with 5? No, close to 6. I think our loot here is just a little weak, which is unfortunate. I can't remember. I should have checked it. Oh well. Although part of that might be because I haven't gotten a global yet. Come on, Mind Arc, give me the global. Better yet, give me a Hoff. That was my Christmas present from Mind Arc. Last year I got like an 800 ped Hoff. It was my very first one, haven't had one since. That would be amazing. Come on. Killing zombies is what I'm all about. Kind of makes me wish I could like plant things. I'm kidding. Sorry. Brains. And yes, I just made a Plants vs. Zombie reference. You know, that's a game, I actually beat that game for mobile on my Windows phone a million years ago. They did a good job with it. And of course, it's been immortalized in copycats all over the place, mini games and other games. Here he is. Oh, we even got it before the hour mark. Awesome. That's huge. But still no global. That's really disappointing. And I'm 101 points. 14 hours and 10 minutes. Come on, let's cleave through them. See if we can't get through them before I have to heal. Okay. Call Rom the Cannibal. Which he's technically a zombie, so And I'm not his species, because I think he's a Mulman, honestly. Although that doesn't mean he doesn't cannibalize other Mulmans. Heal. Well, we got close. Back up toward the porter out. Once he goes down, out we go. Kind of disappointed I didn't get a global at all. But it is what it is. There we go. Suspended. Okay, guys. We got the first boss, which he reappears at, you know, intervals anyway. I'm going to keep going at some point. I don't know if I'm going to go tonight because it's already 10:20. I might do another hour. I haven't decided. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time. So make sure you subscribe. Guys, I really appreciate all the support. This is Halloween Mayhem. You all have a wonderful night.